For bout number 3.
All right, Cable Dahlmer Arena. Our third bout this evening is brought to you by Air Summit, servicing all makes and models since 1989. Fighting out of the blue corner, Alex Agnew. And fighting out of the red corner, Ethan Huffman.
He does have a bit of swag about him, does Ethan Huffman. He's good, and he's not afraid to let you know that he's good. He's got that little gamesmanship to him, and you like to see it. Alex Agnew, he's got the training, he's got the little bit of experience behind him, so we'll see how that plays out.
You want to see a little swag from your fighter, right? That shows comfortableness. Big right hand already lands on the temple of Agnew. Kind of makes a hard blink happen as a reaction, and the knees kind of buckle a little bit.
Big left hand and a right hand. And there's the level change by Agnew. And he gets Huffman to the ground. He's gonna have to work off his back early, but he's already doing a good job of being active.
Steps right into mount, does Agnew. Ethan gives up his back to try to get up. He's gonna have to fight hands here. When you're fighting a wrestler, you gotta think a suplex or something like that is possible, but good on Ethan to run to the cage. Yep. Just kind of give him an extra leverage as a third leg to hold his balance.
Agnew looked like he wanted to take him for a ride right there if he was able to, but right now he's on his back. Right now, Huffman doing a good job defending.
Back attempt, a little rush from Agnew and causes Ethan to be able to scramble out. Now back up on their feet, where Ethan lands 2 teeps here.
There's a good left hand hit. It's so close, and there you said it, Jeff. He initiates the wrestling and gets a takedown.
Well, yeah, we saw Ethan land a good pull cross, a very Connor-esque, right? Agnew throws a right hand, barely misses Huffman, and then he counters with the left hand right on the chin. But then we see a beautiful head and arm reversal. Very rare, definitely a wrestling move. If you wrestled in high school, this has probably happened to you.
And this is a bad position right now for Ethan Huffman.
It's not very common in MMA because it's so easy to slip out. If Ethan were to put that far side hook in, he can possibly take the back here.
That's what he's gonna look to try to do. Gathering his composure.
Oh, but beautiful step through to counter the potential back take from Agnew.
Staying one step ahead of Huffman on the ground so far with just over a minute to work.
Agnew's gonna try to flatten out Huffman here as Huffman tries to work back up.
He's fighting the hands. Looks like he's got a hold of
Agnew sorry, Josh. Agnew trying to reset here, right? For a rear naked choke, you want your spines to be aligned. It looks like they're not right now, so Huffman doing a good job of trying to get his back flat to the mat to prevent the rear naked choke.
50 seconds to go here in bout number 3. Huffman with his back taken. Alex Agnew working and trying to get a submission here.
Agnew pummeling back and forth, trying to slip that underneath his, under the chin of Huffman, but Huffman doing a great job of fighting hands as he fights a hook. But you can't give up your back. That's where the mistake is being made. Huffman is doing the right defenses.
Yep, it's still showing that composure that we saw in his first fight of just, staying calm and
Huffman back up to the feet and wastes no time swinging back.
Both of them are swinging. And it looked like Agnew got Huffman a little bit there.
Yeah,
that's how we're going to end round number 1.
Looks like Agnew clipped Huffman there for a sec as he fishes for a 10-figure guillotine.
You're good.
Huffman doing a good job of fighting hands. And there's the end of first round. Action-packed first round, Josh.
Yes, that was a good one.
Here in the major pack replay, we see that pull across, just steps back. And again, another guy that's comfortable fighting from both stances. Agnew there ends up driving the double leg. Initially stuffed, but like a good wrestler does, continues to drive, finishes the takedown, and then finds himself stepping over to mount. And there were some lazy back take attempts, excuse me. And there we see again that pull left hand. We saw Huffman land that from the orthodox stance and then lands it from the southpaw stance. Makes Agnew miss with his cross and then counters with his cross from either stance. That's some clean striking right there.
And you see that QR code on the bottom right of your screen. You think you know FAC MMA? Go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen to make your picks for the last 5 fights of tonight's card and win free tickets to MLB opening week, courtesy of Spectation Sports. Eligibility restrictions apply, of course. See spectationsports.com for details. Last 3 fights, not last 5 fights, since the last 3 fights are going to be the pro portion. of tonight's action, which you can play some action on.
Very competitive first round. I'm not sure exactly where the scorecards are for that first round. I mean, the damage was definitely done by Huffman, but way to close out the round for Agnew.
Yeah, good teeps up the middle. A little bit of a slower start to our second round, and bout number 3 is brought to you by Air Summit Heating and Cooling, servicing all make and models since 1989.
Yeah, I'd hope so. That was a fast-paced first round.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. Alex Agnew is looking pretty good here.
And he's trying to make it a dogfight, and that's going to favor the wrestling for Agnew. As we see Huffman in on his own takedown attempt. He's halfway between a single leg and a double leg. Let's see what he decides to do. His hands are getting locked on this double leg, but good on Agnew to stop the hand lock.
And he's so strong too, Jeff. He's very strong for the 19-year-old, and he can do this to a lot of grown men. It's just kind of bully him down.
And good little knee pick, but this is what's going to favor Agnew is in these grappling exchanges, he has the little savvy wrestling, like in folk style wrestling. If you wrestle in high school, there's these like little scrambles you can create by moving the weight, and also these head and arm throws that he's been successful with in that first round.
And there's a nice trip by Agnew, getting Huffman down to the ground once again here in round number 2. He's enjoying his wrestling tonight. He's using it very well.
Yeah, good outside trip from Agnew there, gets Huffman down. Huffman seems to have a hard time getting up without giving up his back, right? There he could have dug for an underhook, potentially wrestled to a single leg to create a scramble, but chooses to give up his back.
And you see the one hook in from Agnew. He's working to get another one in right there. And yeah, he's all over the back of Ethan Huffman right now. Just putting him in a bad position.
Puts his back flat to the mat. That puts Agnew in mount.
Yeah, good transitions again here in round number 2 from Alex Agnew. Staying ahead on the ground.
And hey, I don't mind giving up your back to get up, but that shouldn't be your first resort. Like, I know it's a very known position, giving up your back, and there's people that are comfortable giving up their back because they're so good defensively there that they're like, hey, this is just how I get up. But you should try something else first, especially if the guy has good back control. But we might see Huffman get out of this and Agnew lay on his back. Yep, we see Huffman able to get back to his feet. So
good knee, and these guys are both throwing furies, but there it is. Huffman's back up to his feet.
And the defense is working for Huffman to give up his back, but the clock is being chewed up with Agnew winning the round because of the back control.
Beautiful takedown right there again by Alex Agnew. He's going to just corral him in this position, and it's going to frustrate Huffman a lot because he's being very defensively responsible on the ground. He's not in a lot of threat for submission, but he's just being controlled right now.
Looks like Huffman almost fishing for a Kimura here.
And there's the end of round number 2 between Agnew and Huffman.
Here in the major pack replay, we see the start of the round was a little less fast-paced than it was in the first, but they got right back to it with Agnew getting Huffman down, landing some good shots from this top half guard position. Huffman then gives up his back, where we saw most of the round play out with Agnew on his back. Huffman being defensively sound, however, I would love to see him have a different answer to trying to get up. Let's dig for an underhook. Let's try to wrestle to a single leg. Momentarily, Huffman gets up, and we saw a good flurry from both these gentlemen. But when giving up your back, if you don't immediately get up, you're losing control time. And if that's what happens most of the round, then you're losing that round. So, again, I'd like to see him do some basics before going fully giving up his back. Let's shrimp, let's push a knee, let's dig an underhook.
You know, Huffman in his second fight, but Agnew has looked really good. And when they break, Agnew's just as willing to engage in the striking battle as Huffman right now. But Huffman gonna look to find a power shot or maybe a takedown of his own and remain on top. Round number 3 is underway.
And Josh, we're not judges here, we're commentating these fights, but could it...
Oh!
Big high kick lands for Ethan Huffman. Smacks the face of Agnew, and he just bites down his mouthpiece like, okay, and initiates the grappling.
Big shot by Ethan Huffman. Definitely the biggest shot of the fight so far, but like you said, Jeff, Alex Agnew just walked right through it into some takedown offense.
I'm not sure if something hurt Huffman there, but there was an odd reaction from him there off the clinch break.
There it is. He's going to try to keep a wide base here and avoid this takedown from Alex Agnew again.
Yeah, Agnew's gonna have to switch to a single leg here if he wants success with this takedown. Good base from Ethan Huffman. Posture's broken from Agnew. And makes me bite my words there. Is able to pull out both legs without having his hands locked.
Yeah, just grabbed the left leg of Huffman there, knocked him off balance, and he's back on top. And he does a good job of just going right to work once he gets in these positions.
Huffman does a good job of using that fence to help him get up. Now he needs to fight hands here. Way to break. He needs to elbow in, and he's out. He's out. Yes, turns in.
Good
job
right
by
hand
Huffman.
By Ethan Huffman.
And that's get up 101 for MMA if you're against the fence. Fight the hands, elbow in, turn and face, but Agnew right back to it, on him like white on rice.
Just relentless pressure from Alex Agnew tonight. And there was Huffman, you know, a little bit more accepting of that position for now, but he's working his way up right by the fence.
A little more than halfway through this round, and it could very well be 1-1 going into the third, so still half a round to work, and whoever excels this last round and a half could take the fight.
Definitely, there's a lot to take into consideration, especially in this round with that huge head kick. Lots of grappling offense initiated by Agnew, but also Ethan Huffman being able to get up. This is the longest he's been held down so far in this round, and he's gathering that control time again is Alex Agnew.
The grappling experience of Agnew really paying off here. He just understands weight distribution. He knows where he has to be to win these scrambles, and that just comes from years of wrestling.
40 seconds to go. We'll see if Ethan Huffman can gather it to his feet one more time and unleash some shots, but Alex Agnew still staying one step ahead on the ground and trying to flatten out Ethan Huffman here. Has given up the back, thought about turning and giving up the mount for a second, but he's up to a knee here. But if he stands up, he's gonna have Agnew still on his back. 10-second bell here.
Huffman's gonna try to end up on top here. And a good measuring stick for who's gonna win these scrambles ends up here on top. Too little, too late there in the third round.
Yep, and that's valuable experience. We talked about it in the amateur cage. Ethan Huffman is gonna learn from this, and Alex Agnew looked really good tonight. There's that big head kick.
Yeah, here in the major back replay, we see big high kick land, but it was landed with the foot. If there was a little more shin involved, that could have been lights out for Agnew. And then here we see the scrambling ability of Agnew. Again, years of wrestling experience is what led to him prevailing in these grappling exchanges. Just knows how to end up on top, and this is where Ethan found himself most of the fight, was with his back taken, but here at the end, finds himself on top. High head wins scrambles, and his head was a little higher than Agnew's, and that's how we end the third round. Very competitive fight.
It was those close 50-50 positions that we saw where Huffman is almost able to get out, but then Agnew was just one step ahead, or just strong enough to take it back to his realm. It was a good performance tonight. We'll see what the judges have in store for us for this third fight of the evening. Looks like Jason Nivens has the scorecard and he's ready to read it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Judge Geary scores about 29-28 for Huffman. Judge Miller scores about 30-27 for Agnew. And Judge Marquez scores about 30-27. Your winner by split decision, out of the blue corner, Alex Agnew!
Alex Agnew getting into the win column for the first time in mixed martial arts. Impressive performance all around. Jeff, great on the grappling, and he showed the dog in him too, in those eating those big shots from Huffman and returning some of his own.
Yeah, great game plan. Like, if you're good in a specific area, we need to learn how to get the fight to that area, and for him it was making it a dogfight, getting up in the face of Ethan Huffman to where Ethan can't have these pretty pull crosses which were effective early on in the fight, and he did that. He found a way to win and stuck to that game plan. And for Ethan Huffman, I think he's gonna learn from this. 19 years old, sky's the limit for the kid, and close fight, split decision, as we saw with the scorecards. I do think he'll learn a lot from this fight, and I'm excited to see him back in this FAC cage.